A big show for you tonight. More breaking news on the anthem controversy. The commissioner of the NFL facing the press today on his league's decision on how to settle the firestorm following a two-day meeting with players and owners. You're going to hear from Roger Goodell ahead. But first, Attorney General Jeff Sessions back on the hot seat today in the Senate, fielding questions on the firing of James Comey, the Trump campaign's contacts with Russians, and more. He had some testy exchanges with Democrats on the Judiciary Committee, particularly Al Franken. You'll see that in a moment. But the Attorney General started out defending President Trump's decision to oust his first FBI director, tying it to Comey's mishandling of Clinton's email investigation. I
don't think it's been fully understood the significance of the error that Mr. Comey made on the Clinton matter. I don't think I've heard of a situation in which a major case in which the Department of Justice prosecutors were involved in an investigation, that the investigative agency announces the closure of the investigation. He said he thought he did the right thing and would do it again. We were concerned that he reaffirmed that he would do it again. So I think that was a basis that called for a fresh start at the FBI.
Sessions rebuffed repeated requests from Democrats like Dianne Feinstein to detail his private conversations with the president on Comey.
What exactly did President Trump tell you was his reason for firing Director Comey? Did the president ever mention to you his concern about lifting the cloud on the Russia investigation?
Senator Feinstein, that calls for a communication that I've had with the president, and I believe it remains confidential.
But you don't deny that there was a communication?
I do not confirm or deny the existence of any communication between the president that I consider to be confidential.
All right. Mr. Gutfeld, we'll begin with you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So what do you make of this exchange? Yes, he's looking less peaked, less peaked.
I'm just slightly sick. Talk about a hot seat. Ooh. Anyway. I get nothing out of these hearings. Absolutely nothing, because you know how it's going to go. They keep asking the same questions. They're trying to find the bombshell. It's like a political version of the carnival dunk tank. They all get up there and they're trying to hit Sessions and knock him down, and you know it's going nowhere. They're all grandstanding because a lot of them want to, they're either going to run for re-election. So the hearing is often their audition. It's like America's Got Talent, but without talent and with toupees. As for Comey, he's like a state capital all over the map.
Oh. All right. Well, that was certainly worth the two-day wait.
Hey, look, I tried.
You did.
I don't even know who you are.
Exactly.
I see two of you, Kimberly.
Lucky you. Wow, lucky you. I got to tell you. What a dream. All right. So, Dana, today you were covering this as it was ongoing during the daily briefing. And what's your takeaway from how Sessions did? And do you think he was well prepared for it? And kind of some things that he stated, I think, that can give us a tell of what's happening.
Well, this was a general oversight hearing. So all of the cabinet secretaries that serve in the executive branch will eventually have to show up and go through the motions, really, because there's no answers really given. They're not going to be able to out the Attorney General. He was a member of the Senate for a long time. He's a practiced attorney. So all of his answers were certainly practiced in a way, but also he was super careful. One of the things he kept doing when they were asking him about Russia was and also in that piece with Dianne Feinstein that we just showed, is he was suggesting that there is executive privilege on conversations between him and the president. That is true, but executive privilege has not been invoked by the president on this. And that's why I saw the senators getting frustrated and you didn't get a lot out of it. The one thing I think that he does do in this hearing is he continues to do something that is actually quite brave for the executive branch to do, which is to say, for example, on DACA, the Dreamers. You know what? It was illegally done. So now we're asking Congress to fix it. We're going to faithfully execute the law, but you guys have to pass a law. You can't just do this in the executive branch. It doesn't hold. So knock yourselves out. And I thought that was useful. And that happens over and over again on health care as well.
Okay. But overall, you felt that he did a good job?
I think that there's nothing out of this that is a big headline tomorrow.
Okay. So usually that's
a win.
That's a win. We're like, wait a second, wait for the tweet. Okay, Jesse, what did you make of this in terms of the questioning of the panel of Jeff Sessions, and do you think that he has pleased the president with his responses?
Yes, I'm sure that President Trump's very pleased. I thought the best part of the hearing was when a senator accidentally spilled Dr. Pepper on Senator Ted Cruz. For me, that was the highlight. The rest of the hearing was Groundhog Day. This whole thing, I think, happened a couple months ago. I think they just did part two.
Yep.
The only other thing I came out of it, basically, was the Democrats still have no agenda. They're still obsessed with Russia. They're like 9/11 truthers. Good luck running on that in 2018. It reaffirmed the fact that Comey hatched an escape plan for Hillary Clinton and wrote an exonerating letter months before he even interviewed her. Then when his boss, Lynch, had the secret meeting with Slick Willie, he usurped her authority, made the announcement, let Hillary escape, then said he'd do it all over again if he had the chance. Then when he got canned, he illegally leaked. So Comey didn't come out looking too good this time. The only other thing that I think kind of leaked out of this hearing today, which was very, very interesting, the Obama FBI knew that crooked Russians were funneling dirty money and bribing American energy officials and funneling money to the Clinton Foundation right before Hillary Clinton's State Department approved this uranium deal. And she signed off on the deal. Holder signed off on the deal, where the Justice Department under Obama had this smoking gun, sat on it, didn't do anything. You know who was leading the investigation of this crooked uranium deal? Comey and Mueller. So it all comes back full circle. And when Senator Grassley asked about it, Sessions said, you know what? We're not going to comment on any ongoing investigations, which leads me to believe that the Justice Department might actually be investigating dirty money flowing into the Clinton Foundation.
Aha. Juan, do you concur with Jesse?
I don't know. I mean, to me, if it's true, they can look into it. I don't know that it's anything of substance. The question is what happened, and we'll find out. What interested me today was a number of exchanges. I thought the exchange with Al Franken was just hilarious. I mean, here he is going back and forth with Franken.
Can I play it for you?
Sure, go
All right, fantastic. Good job, Juan. Let's play more from Sessions' testimony today. Juan wants to hear it, and here's his fiery exchange with Senator Al Franken.
The goalpost has been moved. First it was, I did not have communications with Russians, which was not true. Then it was, I never met with any Russians to discuss any political campaign. Now it's, I did not discuss interference in the campaign.
I conducted no improper discussions with Russians at any time regarding a campaign or any other item facing this country. Mr. Chairman, I don't have to sit in here and listen to his
You're the one who testified.
charges without having a chance to respond. Give me a break. The lead-in to your question was very, very troubling.
Okay, so obviously some contention and tough moments between them here, but you thought it was hysterical.
That was interesting because that's the way I feel sitting here some days. I don't have to listen to this, but
Feeling is mutual.
I know.
You do for an hour.
So it was interesting because I think the heart and soul of it was that you have the senators treating the Attorney General as if he is a target of interest in the Russia investigation. Of course, he's recused himself and angered President Trump, who, by the way, continues to say, where's the Justice Department in terms of looking into Comey, for example. He wants more action from Justice Department to this day. Today, he's tweeting about it. But then you get a situation where Pat Leahy follows up on Franken. It's like, tag team wrestling. And Leahy is like, have you met with Robert Mueller, the special counsel? And he says, well, maybe you should ask Mueller, not me. He says, no, I'm asking you, buddy. I'm asking you. To which point, then, Senator Blumenthal of Connecticut gets involved, and finally we understand that there's been no contact, even with regard to setting up a meeting between between Mueller and Sessions. So it's this kind of back and forth and fighting that then leads to a question from Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, who says, is it possible that President Trump could issue preemptive pardons for people who are targeted by the special counsel? And he's, Sessions is like, well, it's very broad authority under pardons. But if that's where we're going, that's really curious. I mean, Sessions is saying, yeah, it's possible. Maybe he'll pardon everybody. I don't know.
So, but you thought that was a tell, that basically, even kind of that line of questioning, that maybe they've heard that, they thought perhaps
oh, yeah, I think that's what they're worried about.
Something that could come to fruition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what the Democrats are worried about.
Yeah.
All I think is the only thing more boring than this whole meeting is having it rehashed by Juan.
But you know what's even worse, Greg? This is what
I thought the Amy Klobuchar reference was fantastic.
Yeah. But
you are like the Cliff Notes. He's the Cliff Notes.
Because a lot of this,
it was like Groundhog Day.
A lot of this happened in June, right? Yeah. In front of Senate Intelligence. This is the first time he's before Senate Judiciary.
Mm-hmm. We were saying, Dana saying you're a reporter. That's why you do your little TikTok. I like when you do a little TikTok.
Oh, I think the viewers benefit from knowing what happened.
Yeah, and I like his reenactment.
You don't
and then
think
he goes,
and then,
oh no, blah, blah, blah. It's like very dramatic.
I have two observations. One, I think that it is possible that the Democrats were going on and on about Russia because they were trying to get President Trump to get mad at Attorney General Sessions again and to spin that back up because they benefit when it looks like the administration is in chaos. And I don't think that necessarily will happen today, but that is possible. I also think the Democrats missed a real opportunity to be able to put a different set of news with the Attorney General on the front burner. One would have been marijuana laws and how he is deciding to prosecute those and dealing with the states that have legalized marijuana and the federal government has it. I mean, there's a lot to be said there. And there's so much that could be asked about on criminal justice reform. When there's bipartisan support in the House and the Senate, there isn't necessarily support by Attorney General Sessions, but there might be with President Trump, and they could have figured out a way to drive a wedge there. But instead, they just did the same hearing that they did 3 months ago.
Yeah, all the Democrats in the Senate watching right now, don't listen to Dana. Keep focusing on Russia. You guys are doing a great job.
Is MSNBC going to cover all this new Russia stuff with Hillary? Do you think they're going to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, fair and balanced. No, that's us.